We've got a new pack of gum. Compliments of Eda. Extra sweet watermelon. I prefer my watermelon sweet. I hate when I get a I'm not huge on watermelon. The actual melon. I love fake watermelon. Watermelon flavor is what I like. So we're gonna pop in some extra sweet watermelon. And today I just have some notes in my phone. Total randomness. Train wreck that is my brain. Things I get hung up on. Things I've been thinking about. We'll just do a ramble. Oh, I forgot to light my candles in the back. Use your imagination. My bad. Alright. If you're new here, welcome to my nonsense. If you're old here, welcome back, OGs. If you're new here, please consider hitting subscribe. If you're old here, go double check, make sure you're subscribed. Hit the like if you like. Leave a comment. It can be anything related to the video. It can just be a hello, a few emojis, anything, as long as it's cool, as long as it's respectful. Hit the notification bell. As always, I will link my tip jars down below in the description box. No pressure whatsoever. But every $1, $2, $5 is really helpful. And that is what allows me to continue to make content. My email is down there for customs. Also, you're invited to my Patreon, link down below. Again, no pressure, but you are invited. Okay. Now I gotta dig up the notes. You guys want to see something funny? I can't snap. I don't know why I can't snap. I've never been able to snap. Like, I can snap. If I was in a chorus of snappers, nobody would really know that I couldn't snap. But it's not the snap. It's not the snap that other people have. It's a very weak snap. Why do I suck at that? I can whistle, but I can't snap. I guess out of the two, I'd rather be able to whistle. Alright. Real quick, I wanted to address something that Ebony was talking about in, I can't remember what video it was, but she asked if I would talk about, you know how you get that feeling if you're older, like, should I start something? Am I too old to start this? I've had that feeling myself. A long time ago, I saw something on, it was like a quote or a sentiment of some kind, probably on Pinterest. And it said, no matter how long something's going to take, that time is going to pass anyways. So let's just give an example. Say you are 50. And you want to start something, and that something is going to take a couple years to get going. Education or building of some sort. Say it's a 2-year course or something like that. That time is going to pass anyways. So you're going to go from 50 to 52. Whether you, most likely, whether you're working on that passion project or career change or not, you know? So you might as well do it. You're going to be sitting there at 52 and you will either have done it or have not done it. And I promise you, you will make yourself a happier 52-year-old if you gave it a shot. 62-year-old, 72-year-old, if you have the itch. I'm not saying you're supposed to have the itch to do something at 70-something. It's perfectly okay if you don't, too. And you're just like, okay, I want to sit here and start to wear my plan at 70 is start to wear my completely mismatched outfits. My white socks with some black orthopedic shoes. And just get real weird with it. I think that's how I feel. But who knows? Who knows? I might want to start a passion project in my 70s. So, when you start contemplating, should I or shouldn't I? And don't go risking your whole livelihood on anything. Everything you worked for, because most of the time, by the time you're 50s, 60s, you worked for a lot. So balance it. Balance it. Don't overwork yourself. Take part-time courses. Do whatever you gotta do. Might not have the energy you had in your 20s. But you do have the patience of a saint, typically. That's an asset. You also work a lot harder at stuff. I think it was one of my teachers, but it might have just been a teacher saying I came across by being chronically online, that said they've never failed a true adult student, like the person that was paying for their education on their own. That's what they meant, I think, by it. And I know plenty of young people that are doing really good too, but we're not talking about that right now. They're saying once somebody was fully invested and wanted to be there on their own dime, they really put their all into it. It was my experience too, because when I was younger, like the first time I took some college classes, yikes, I didn't really get, like, yeah, I got my credits for those classes, but I was in my late 20s when I got my bachelor's degree. Like, when I really was like, okay, let's do this, was later on. So, all right, what else? Gig apps. Let's talk about gig apps. Have you ever done a gig app? What is a gig app? DoorDash, Uber Eats, Lyft, Rover. What are some other ones? Are there any that I don't know about? I've done DoorDash. I've done Rover. I think that's the only ones I've done at this point. I did DoorDash off and on over the last few years, just when I would be slow at work or something. In my experience, it was not like really turning much of a profit for like when you really put in how much time you spent and the gas and then the wear and tear in your car and your car insurance payment. Like, when you really think about it all, turning a profit is hard, at least out here. I think that if you are in a good area that tips well, you could throw those tips on that to absorb some of that. That would be helpful. But these gig apps do not give a rat's ass about you. They will throw you out there, like they will try to get you to take $2 jobs. $2 jobs, and then they'll promise like a $4 tip or something. That tip, you're not guaranteed that tip. It's like it's called tip baiting. Tip baiting. So guess who else don't care about you? The tip baiters. It's simple instruction. You know, they say, go grab the food from like Olive Garden and then show up to this X address. Now, sometimes these addresses are in really confusing apartment complexes. They're on the top floors of hotels. Sometimes the instructions will say you have to hand it to the person in their hand. Okay. But then the person doesn't answer the door. Then you have to call DoorDash. Like, they're not answering. What do I do here? DoorDash will say you gotta wait for 10 minutes before you can leave or something like that. There's a protocol. So, I don't know. Have you guys done them? What do you think? What helped you succeed if you did end up like breaking through that? Holy crap, this is not working. Would I still do it? I might have to. I might have to. If I didn't have a toddler and I could hit up lunch rush and dinner rush. Like, honestly, if it paid okay, that would be ideal. If it even paid okay, that would be ideal. Like, I've had to do gig work because of sometimes work is slow. And right now, obviously with what happened with my job, I have no choice. So I do Rover too. Rover, again, they don't care about you. They promised this. I'm on all the Reddits. I'm on all the forums. I hear all the horror stories. Essentially what Rover is you babysit dogs, or you go to the dog's house and walk the dog. I'm terrified of going to somebody else's house and walking a dog. I'll tell you why. Have you met dogs? Lots of lovely ones. There's lots of lovely dogs. But there's a few that can rip your head off. You're coming into their house. People do it. And I have a lot of dog experience. A lot. Big dog, little dog, old dog, pup, reactive dog. I had a reactive dog in my past. So I feel like my dog abilities are up there. I'm not a professional dog trainer. I'm not a vet tech or anything like that. But as far as dog sitting, dog caring, I'm experienced. But I see these horror stories on Rover, and they're like, okay, I went over to a house. Now, don't get mad, I'm just using a breed as an example. So if you have one, I have a freaking doodle. Everybody hates doodles. Okay, I don't take offense. They don't know my doodle. But there was one the other day that this woman was scheduled to go walk a Great Dane. So this is a real story that was on Reddit. It's not much of a story, but she got there and the dog wouldn't even let her get near it. It was like snarling at her. She tried. She got it out of its gate, right? Or out of its pen. It came out and then it was just like, she's like, I don't know what to do. So she called Rover support and they told her to call and ask the woman if there's any tricks or something. I would be like, no, I'm not doing tricks, ma'am. I don't know what's going on, but this dog hates me right now. I would videotape myself too, because like, you can get a bad review over this stuff. What are you supposed to do? Risk your life? So she called and the owner said, do this or treats or something. And she tried it and she couldn't even, the dog was not having it. She did not know how to get the dog back into its pen. Skip the walk. She couldn't even get the dog back in its pen. I'd be crying at this point. There was another post, kind of similar. I think it was a husky. And it wasn't having it. It was not having any interaction with this dog visitor, dog sitter, whatever she was trying to do. You can either drop in and let the dog out, that's called a drop in, or you can walk a dog. And then you can have services in your home. But this husky wasn't, she was trapped in a bathroom at these people's house. Scared to come out. This is a horror story. Like, I don't, So, for me personally, with Rover, if I'm going to continue to do it, I might just have to get a few bad reviews because I'm not putting my life, my toddler's life, anybody in my family's life, any of my dog's life in danger. So I have it in my notes that I have a no aggression policy. But here's the other thing. People can be delusional or in denial about their dogs. So people will straight up lie because they need a sitter. So they'll be like, no, my dog has no aggression issues. Totally fine, go. Or, yeah, my dog's fully potty trained. We're good to go. And then you get a dog in your care and they're just 5 accidents back to back. You're like, no. The dog is not housebroken. I'm not a trainer. I'm not a potty trainer. Or there are people that when you book a dog for dog sitting, your job as a dog sitter is to care for the dog all day as you would your own. And it's totally fine to crate them. Crating is a normal part of a dog's day. But if you'd have a dog that you don't want in the crate for, the owner is allowed to go run errands, and your dog is not going to just be running around their house chewing up doors, rugs, blah, blah, blah. So when they're not under supervision, for the safety of the dog and the house, dogs should be crate trained. Not all dogs can be crate trained. I have Mondo, cries in his cage. Mondo's 15 years old. I've worked with him for a million years on this. Can't be crate trained. So, but he can be in the house, my house. But some people are like, no, crate training. Not, they haven't said that to me. But on these forums, I don't want my dog in the crate. Okay, ma'am, what you need for that is called constant care. Constant care. If I have to stare at your dog all day for 9 hours, or if I'm boarding him for 24 hours, I have to stare at him, I can't even sleep. Because the dog needs to be watched like a hawk. That's called constant care. And it's pricey. It's pricey. So the other alternative is vet boarding. And I've had to do that with my dogs. And with Mondo, I feel terrible because, again, he hates being in the crate. But if you go with vet boarding, usually costs more, and your dog is in the kennel or the crate or whatever almost the entire day. So, and then you can have for the real doozies, there's vet boarding facilities that charge a lot that are touchless. So if you got a crazy dog, there's some kind of like system where they just open up gates and let that dog run, and then somehow they lure it back in. Like there's a no touch type of system. I don't even want to know what that costs. And this is why I never get mad when I see, okay, I can't say never, but when I see somebody rehoming a dog and it says that they do have behavior issues. Some people don't understand that there are behavior issues that all the training in the world can't fix because it's a behavior, like it's a genetic behavior, or it's just something that is a little loose up there. And there are even veterinary behavioralists that can't fix that problem. And it's sad. But if it becomes a safety issue, it is important to get that dog in the care of somebody that can better manage it. We have a dog in our neighborhood that is seemingly extremely vicious. His walker is a teenage boy. The teenage boy does seem to have a good grip on the dog. But when that dog sees another dog, he foams at the mouth. Foams at the mouth. And it terrifies me because I have my own pets, you know? So I'm like, oh, what happens if he gets off? My pets are usually in the back in the fenced yard, but I'm not gonna lie, my dogs don't leave the yard. So Mondo and Peps can sit with me on the front stoop all day long. They just sit on the front stoop with me. I don't know if the 2 new ones that we adopted, I don't know if they'll ever get there. I've got really lucky with Mondo and Peps. what else are we going to talk about? That was a million tangents. My bad. There is one dog. Canelo's in here somewhere. I hear him snoring. Oh, on that note, even like the whole, so I was talking about gig apps, right? And how Rover really doesn't care about you, and they can drop you like that. So if an owner complains and it's totally not your fault like that, Rover can let the complaint go up, a bad review go up. They're not going to help you out. If a senior dog dies in your care, they'll shut you down for like a couple weeks while they investigate, even if it was natural causes. You have like a hold on your account, which I get. They kind of have to like, okay, but the dog, if the dog was 16. So, but on that note, even YouTube, I don't know if you guys have had up in your suggestion box or if you follow anybody that this has happened to, but it's called invalid traffic is ruining these YouTubers, big YouTubers' revenues. And it's terrifying. And I've watched several. I just went down the line and was watching several videos about this. And what's happening is a creator will see their revenue drop 90%. Like, what the heck happened? They go into their analytics and see that there's a little banner that says invalid traffic. Like, okay, but it doesn't make sense because I have tons of valid traffic. Like, I've had this traffic, similar traffic for a long time. So what's with this invalid traffic now? So I'll message YouTube, and YouTube will respond like, oh yes, we detected invalid traffic. Your account will resume when there's no longer invalid traffic. I'm like, well, what does that mean? What is invalid traffic? How do I stop it? And YouTube is saying it's like 3 things. I don't know if I can remember all 3, but the top one was saying, well, if you're having your friends or family watch your videos nonstop, like back to back. What if friends, family, or subscribers like your videos? I binge the hell out of some channels sometimes. Am I invalid traffic? I want to watch those videos. Now, that doesn't mean if I'm binging your videos, you're still showing me the ads. So the ad went through. Now, the money isn't going back to the advertisers. That's what's fishy about this. The ads went through. Like, the advertiser paid for the ad to go through. The ad went through. But YouTube was holding on to it. Stopping it. Blocking it from going to where it was supposed to go to. Saying, because there's invalid traffic. The other one was, if you were telling your subscribers to click on an ad of some sort, apparently that is invalid traffic. I don't even know what that means. I don't think I've ever seen a YouTuber say click on that. So, I don't know. I guess you can't advertise for the ads. Maybe, is that what that means? Anyway, the YouTubers are writing back to YouTube. I'm not doing any of this, ma'am or sir. None of those 3 things have I done. And this is the slap in the face. They get the canned response right back, blaming them again. Like, okay, when you stop, your channel can resume as normal. Like, I just said I didn't do any of that. They'll ask, can you show me where I did that? Nothing. So, how incredibly frustrating. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of tears being shed right now by by people that really counted on that. Like, that's their job. They're cranking out videos. They're used to this certain number. That's how they pay their bills. Granted, you should never put all your eggs in one basket. Yada yada. We know. But I don't even know. I just hope it doesn't happen. I have bad luck, you guys. And I'm not at the point where, like, if something like that happened, it's not my sole income or anything. But still, it's not fair. Not fair at all. Okay, let's talk about one more bullet point. Let's see. Reddit. What Reddits do you guys follow that are fun? Obviously, I do the Am I the A-holes? I do those on this channel. I also do those on Patreon. Confessions I only do on Patreon, and I'll tell you why. Those confessions, some of the subject matter in those confessions is stuff that if I were to upload it and monetize it like a regular channel, regular YouTube video, it probably would get me in some trouble. There's higher restrictions, there's less things you can talk about, there's less checks if you're going to put it on your regular channel. If you go it through Patreon, it's unlisted. So not as many checks. Confessions are why there are some confessions that leave my jaw on the freaking floor. Are they true? We have no way of knowing. Reddit is pretty much anonymous. Some people have it not anonymous. They're like, hi, I'm this person. But almost everybody on Reddit, you just have a little like avatar, and everything's anonymous. So there's Reddit, and then there's subreddits. Am I the A-hole? Very fun. Confessions, crazy. Mildly inferior. Why do I have so much trouble with that? Mildly infuriating. Mildly infuriating is a good one. What else? Texts. It's just a subreddit called Texts, and it's people posting like, I can't believe this text or this interaction. That's a fun one. That's a really fun one. I'm on a subreddit called Autumn because, you know, I love seasonal living. So I'm on a subreddit called Autumn. They have like music recommendations for autumn, TV shows to watch, autumn movies, blah blah blah. Now some people get these two genres twisted, because if somebody's asking for autumn, that doesn't necessarily mean they're asking for horror. Does that make sense? Like, usually autumn is like, you have two subgenres. You have the spooky, but if they just say autumn, then it's kind of like the cozy. It's more about like the leaves changing, like movies and TV shows that are set in that season, and then there's the spooky content, which is more Halloween content. I don't know. Okay. So, anyways, if you are still watching and you watched this all the way to the